A passport in an EU member state buys you the right to live, work, and study across 27 countries. So you'd think the cost is substantial. But 5 ways into European citizenship never ask for a cent, and you might already qualify for one without even knowing it. In this video, you'll learn about all 5, plus a less talked about bonus path at the very end. Since Malta closed its direct citizenship by investment program in 2025, no investment buys a passport in a European Union member state directly anymore. A golden visa buys you a residence permit and years of waiting, nothing more. What's left are qualifying connections. Now, calling these routes free requires one small asterisk. Every one will include administrative costs like government fees, apostilles, certified translations, usually a lawyer, etc. What none of them costs, though, is an entry fee. Let's also note that rules change fast. Italy, Spain, Portugal, and Germany have all rewritten parts of their citizenship law in the last 2 years, mostly to tighten it. Legislative change is just a fact in this business, not a question mark. Changes like these is actually why we built IMI Sovereigns, our private community of investors and entrepreneurs worldwide. We host frequent live sessions called Sovereign Signals, where we talk through the rumors and the not yet public shifts we can't report openly. To give you a sense of the edge that this buys, our members knew Argentina was building a citizenship by investment program a full 2 years before you knew about it. If you want to be early, that's where you should be. Link and a nice discount are in the description. Let's start with the route you can't choose, being born in the right place. Several EU states grant citizenship based on birth on their soil, a principle called jus soli, Latin for right of soil. Almost none of them grant it automatically, like most countries in the Americas do though. Germany gives citizenship at birth if only one parent has lived there legally for at least 5 years and holds permanent residency. France and Spain go farthest of all, where a child born in those countries to a parent who was also born there is by origin French or Spanish, respectively. However, most of Europe rejects unconditional birthright citizenship, so this route rarely helps an adult who was born somewhere else. Where it counts is the next generation. If your children are born or raised in an EU state, a claim may already exist, and it costs nothing but the paperwork to document it. Which brings us to a route you can control. Way number 4, and likely the one you're most familiar with, is you earn it by living there. You don't need ancestry or a spouse. Live in an EU country long enough on a valid residence permit, from work to study to family reunification, and you can naturalize on residency alone. Ireland asks for 5 years of residency within the previous 9, with no language test, one of the more accessible routes in Europe. Germany also sets the bar at 5 years, cut from 8 back in 2024, though it wants B1 level German and a citizenship exam. Spain has 2 tracks. Natural-born citizens of Ibero-American countries, Andorra, the Philippines, Portugal, and a few others, naturalize after just 2 years. Everyone else waits 10. But watch the timelines, because they're always moving and sometimes not in your favor. Portugal was the 5-year benchmark for years. In May 2026, though, it stretched that to 7 years for EU and Portuguese-speaking nationals and 10 for everyone else. So this route does not require an investment, but it does ask for patience and presence. You fund your own life in the country, meet the physical presence rules, and usually pass a language or civics exam. Time is the currency. But for those who'd rather not spend a decade in limbo, there's a faster door. Way number 3, you marry an EU citizen. Marriage doesn't hand you a passport at the altar in most cases, but it shortens the wait considerably, and in a few countries it shortens it sharply. Spain is the fastest. Marry a Spanish citizen and you can apply after just 1 year of legal residency in Spain, against 10 years for most applicants. Germany cuts its standard requirement to 3 years for a spouse, as long as the marriage has lasted at least 2. In most states, marriage compresses the residence clock rather than removing it, and immigration officers scrutinize these applications to screen out arrangements of convenience. Now, a few states drop the residence requirement altogether, and Portugal asks the lease of new potential citizens. A spouse of a Portuguese citizen can acquire citizenship after 3 years together without ever living in Portugal, though the 2026 reform tightened the proof of a genuine connection. So marriage and residence both put the work on you, but the final 2 routes put the work on your ancestors. Way number 2, and this one comes closest to pure justice. You reclaim a citizenship your family lost. Some Europeans didn't emigrate by choice. They were stripped of citizenship and forced out, and several countries now let their descendants reclaim what was taken at no cost, often with no residency or language requirements. Germany is an option here. Descendants of people who lost or were denied German citizenship on political, racial, or religious grounds between 1933 and 1945 can reclaim it, and each descendant has an individual claim, so grandchildren and great-grandchildren can apply even if their parents never did. Austria opened a parallel route in 2020 for the descendants of those who fled Nazi persecution, and it lets them keep their current nationality in direct opposition to its ban on dual citizenship. But these windows open and close. Spain's democratic memory law, which let the descendants of Civil War and Franco-era exiles reclaim nationality, closed to new applicants in October 2025, with no extension on the table. Germany has a separate reparation route by declaration, and its window is open only until 2031. So if a claim like this lies in your family, the clock may be ticking, which leaves the single broadest route of all. Finally, way number 1, the route most likely to be in your family tree. You claim citizenship through ancestry. If you have a European parent or grandparent, this is the cheapest passport in Europe. Citizenship by descent, or jus sanguinis, the right of blood, passes nationality down the family line, no matter where you were born. Ireland is the standout here as it offers what may be the strongest citizenship in the world. Anyone with at least one grandparent born on the island of Ireland can claim Irish citizenship by registering on the Foreign Births Register. No residence or language test required. By some estimates, more than 70 million people worldwide could claim Irish descent, and many qualify without ever realizing it. Hungary offers one of the broadest programs, approving more than 1 million applications from people of Hungarian descent since 2010, no residency required. Portugal recognizes the children and grandchildren of its citizens, and its 2026 nationality law overhaul left those descent routes intact. Poland, Bulgaria, Latvia, and Lithuania reach back generations. Czechia and Slovakia also let the descendants of former citizens claim by declaration. Italy used to be the most generous of all here, recognizing descent with no generational limit whatsoever, until a 2025 law and a 2026 court ruling narrowed it sharply. The trade-off across every descent route is documentary. You reconstruct a family tree with birth, marriage, and death certificates, often apostilled and translated, and it can take years to assemble. But the reward is a passport that costs administrative fees instead of a 6-figure or 7-figure investment. Before we wrap, there's one more often forgotten option to claim EU citizenship, and it's the rarest of all. A handful of EU states grant citizenship purely on merit, for exceptional service or talent, at the government's discretion, sometimes without any investment or residency at all. Austria is the clearest example. Under its citizenship law, a person whose achievement served the special interest of the Republic in science, sport, the arts, or business can be handed an Austrian passport outright. France has a similar path for those who render exceptional service to the state or bring rare talent to it. Spain can award citizenship by royal decree for exceptional circumstances. If your work has put you on that level, or you're willing to drop serious investment in a country, it may be the cleanest path in Europe. So before you price a golden visa, map your family tree 2 or 3 generations back, pull the birth certificates, and check which country's laws your ancestry fits. Then confirm that the rule still stands, because as we covered, this is a fast-changing corner of the investment migration field. Now, say one of these routes works, and you end up holding another citizenship, or you already hold a passport portfolio. Using it well is a different skill entirely, especially now that automatic data exchange between governments is the norm. We made a video on how to travel correctly with more than one passport, which document to show, when, and why the stakes keep rising. Check it out on your screen now, and subscribe and turn on those notifications so the next rule change reaches you before the headlines.